because I think we're always on that journey with the Lord from the time of our birth to the time that, that God takes us home. And I especially want to try to get across of what a Christian is. A Christian is not a religion, it's not a denomination. It's a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So when somebody says that they are a Christian, that means that they have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And I hope that through my talk today that some of that comes across. So I want to start kind of with chapter 1, which was when I was Roman Catholic. My parents were Roman Catholic, and because I was born in May, that's why they named me Mary. And so sometimes I have a talk with Mary. And so these are some of the things that Mary and I talk about. I say, Mary, what was it like to be a teenager, unwed, and pregnant? At that time, I would say to her, you could have been stoned to death. And I said, was there gossip? Did people judge you? What was it like for you? And then we go on to the first miracle. And I say, Mary, that first miracle, it seems to me that that person who got married must have been a close relative. Otherwise, why would you feel responsible that they were going to be out of line? And then I said, and I'd really like to know, what does it really mean to go from the water being changed to wine? What does that really represent? And then I go on and talk about the crucifixion, because as a mother, I say to Mary, what was it like, and how did you emotionally ever get through that? Because let's take a minute and see what Mary would have seen with her son on the cross. She would have seen people take a whip that had little stones, had little bones on the end. And when those straps hit his back, it would just torn his skin off. She would have had to see her son with his skin torn off. Piercing, pulling the beard out, the crown of thorns, and then they take spikes. And when you see it on TV, when they take the spikes and put it into somebody's wrist and into their heels, what a horrible sight that would have been for a mother. And then I say, after seeing all of that, Mary, to see people that still rejected your son. So I talk with those things about her. And then for 3 years, I went to the Catholic school from like 3rd grade to 6th grade. So I'm going to tell a story that I heard as a little girl, and this was over 60 years ago, but it always stuck in my mind, and I'm going to use my sister Tony, who's out there, as part of this, because Tony's the little girl in the scene that is sweet and kind and honest. Well, there was 2 girls. It was Mary and Tony. So I'm Mary, she's Tony. And Mary couldn't find her rosary beads. And so she accused this sweet little honest Tony of stealing her rosary beads. And as time went on, Tony died. Sorry, Tony. And then later, a few months later, Mary went to her closet and she got her coat out that she had worn since the year before. And in the pocket was the rosary beads. So I'm just saying, as a little girl, going to Catholic school, already God is teaching me about not judging and not falsely accusing people of things. So, even as a little girl, God was really working with me. So when I was about 12, my mom and my dad had divorced. So we moved with my mom to White Creek, New York, which meant that I attended school here in Cambridge. And I graduated from Cambridge Central School in 1962. That's why I have a heart for this area, because I went to school here. And my first marriage, so we're talking about my first denomination, we're talking about my first marriage. I was 18 years old. I got married that September out of school. And to a really nice guy, his name was Scott. And 14 months later, he was in Bennington Hospital, and I'm in Bennington Hospital. And that night I went to see him and told him goodbye. And I didn't realize that was going to be goodbye. And that night when I went into labor, he died. And so my mom had to come and tell me just after giving birth to my son, our son, that he had died. And so that was my first marriage. And then that son's name was David, which goes along with the Bible. A couple of years later, I got married again and had my son Joseph, another Bible name, and but that ended in divorce. And so I think these lovely ladies now are going to sing a song that represents that first chapter of my life.